Okay. I think I double clicked and I kept bouncing back and forth. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Come on in. Hello, hello, hello. So, we're going to talk some stuff today. And if you get offended with anything that I'm about to say, please, really check your ego on some of the things. I get when you're very passionate about a subject, you're very passionate about something. Sometimes it's really hard to open your viewpoint to other sides. There's a lot that's happening right now within the world and a lot that's happening around. And I just wanted to touch on a few points that are going on. I was watching Borg from Norway, and I follow him on YouTube, and he's reading out some of the things that are wanting to be implemented in the Netherlands. And the thing is that, I mean, if it's starting there, I know in the UK they're already mentioning about not owning a vehicle, like you won't own a vehicle and stuff. And I spoke earlier on new type of lockdown, which would be an environmental lockdown. And he was sort of going through some of the points of what they are wanting to do in the Netherlands. And one of the things is no cars on Sunday, like no driving on Sunday in larger cities. 3-day work week, working from home, uh, commuting, like more commuting, like communal cars, so that you you would have to share your vehicle with somebody else. You can't go and drive your vehicle by yourself. Like you'd have to have, so if you're going somewhere, you have to make sure that it's in a community car, I guess. Those are just some of the things that were being pointed out. I think he had like over 10 items on his list, which really, sort of made me go, "Oh, okay." I mean, he's and the thing is I love about him because he doesn't follow the astrology. He's a Viking. He's handsome Viking man. And he really, he watches things. He's really in tune with nature. He makes his own stuff, his axe and stuff. Anyways, he's a very woodsy outdoor guy. So he's very connected, very aware of what's happening in the world. And even I was following him before COVID, and he was talking about things, and he was talking about the lockdowns and everything else. And I'm just like, holy shit, this guy he's not, he's just very in tuned. Like you don't have to be into the astrology to be in tuned. That's one of the things. It's like, I mean, you just know things. Like people are just like, yeah, I know, I can feel that. Or yeah, I'm very uncertain about this. And sometimes you just can't put your finger on it, but you just know things are going to start getting chaotic. And you have that feeling. And it's not until, some of us who do astrology and then you say, oh, well, Mars is squaring Uranus and Uranus is semi-square Black Moon Lilith. Well, Black Moon Lilith doesn't give a shit about anybody. She's going to do what the hell she wants to do. And Mars will be triggering the separating Uranus and Black Moon Lilith aspect on April 4th. So Mars will finish up this triggering and separating Saturn and Uranus square with its conjunction to Saturn. We are heading into some provocative, intense territory where things can get explosive, trigger happy, reactive, and intense, not only on the world front, but maybe within our own selves. The shadow work practice will highly be useful for you if you've done any shadow work process. If you've done the Journey Club, pull it on out because this is going to be very helpful for you. And then on April 4th, when Mars is conjoining Saturn. Now, I've been looking at, the US chart Putin's chart and Ukraine, and it doesn't look good. It's kind of concerning. There's a lot of shit that's going on that's on there. But it's not, I'm not doing like the Russian people, but to understand the dynamics of what is going on in the world is so important. Understanding the truth of what is happening in the world, like being real, like being that realistic, like really looking at it. It's where um finance minister in the States says he's going to bring down inflation to 2% by the end of the year. Really? You mean you're going to knock down gas prices? You're going to make sure that food prices are going to be cut in half by the end of the year? Right now, we are at a 20 to 30% inflation rate in the world. Now, that's a realistic looking at the world, and we all know it. We go to the grocery stores and we can see it. This is what we are seeing. Now, when I look at the energies, and you guys have all heard me talk about stocking up and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. This is when, I know I get people upset with me, and to understand, especially when I start talking about the Russian Ukraine thing. And I'm not saying, the thing is to understand the mindset of who Putin is and understand according, to a lot of people. And I've seen pictures of, him being the face of Hitler and all of this. And I'm just like, okay, come on, let's take a step back, because there's a lot of information here that people are not looking at. There's a lot of history that is going on. I'm not saying what he did is right. I'm not saying what's going on is a good thing. It's a bad thing. I don't promote war. But what I do want us to do, just like with COVID, and still what they're doing with COVID, and still what they're trying to promote with that, and promote a fourth elixir with it, we have to go in and really dig for information. Dig for the truth of what's going on. If you're just watching Good Morning America and Hello Canada AM or whatever the fuck it is, you're not getting to the truth. You're not getting. And I know for many of us, it's like, that's just too much, mama, and I don't want to do that. And that's fine. That's what I'm doing. So come on over here and and I may not get it right. That's the thing. I may not get it all right. So that's the other thing. So the thing is that a lot of people understand Putin as, according to many, is a source of evil. And I'm being to love and light by trying to understand his position, and my words, not hers. And this is not about, this border discussion of good and evil. But what I'm understanding is that, first of all, you have to come in, and everybody's values are different. Everybody has a different understanding of how the world works. And many people, like we, have been programmed from very long to look at Russia as evil. We've been told that in all of the Marvel magazines. Who's the bad guy? Is some evil Hitler, something is the bad person. That's what we've been told to believe. And this is where this war that we're coming to, yes, could go nuclear. And if no one is willing to see from Putin's viewpoint and try to understand what is needed, and history and background of NATO and why, whether it is justified or not, Putin does not want NATO on his borders. End of it. That is like nuclear weapons being on the border of the United States and Mexico. So Russia takes over Mexico and it's there. Or God forbid, Russia takes over Canada and he puts NATO missiles. He puts nuclear missiles all along the border for Canada and the US. The US, how do you think they're going to take it? Like, this is an awakening, for us to look at things. And we will just project all the collective shadow on him. He can be the evil one. We can be the moral correct ones. And really, I can see no other answer other than this progressing into a nuclear war. Putin is not backing down. So this is a path towards disaster, in my opinion. And that's what we're doing. It's a projection. We are projecting onto him all of the negativity within this world, within our thoughts, within our deeds. He's a bad person. That's the evil land over there. Now, Jung said that no one understands outside of humanity black collective shadow. As long as we are morally outraged, one person is holding all the shadow of evil. We will be stuck in our morality to the degree that we are cut off from seeing our own shadow, personally, collectively, and nationally. We have to take a step back with everything. And this is, you know, how I'm seeing it, because there is such great light, the Christ consciousness of light that's coming in, this energy of activation of the Holy Trinity within us. It's happening, it's there. But there is such a, even when I, listen to, some of the spiritualists out there, people who are very loving and kind people who are like, "Oh, so bad, you can't," it's the same thing. The same thing is being brought up as if when you were saying, "Well, I'm not, I don't get vaccinated. I am not for the vaccination." And then people get upset and outraged at you and frustrated with you and whatever. And we've seen it, and it's still happening today. I mean, it's today. It's only been like a month or so with the COVID. Now they're finding out many, going on that side, they're finding out more information of what was really in some of these shots, which is a scary factor in itself. Now that's the other thing. And right now, going back to what is the energies at hand, is not about only seeing the shadow in another. It's not about only seeing it in the self. Both of these positions are still polarity. It's all you, it's all me. I think we can hold space of both, and I feel it's the only space that has the potential for true healing. Obviously, I'm not privy to all the truths of what is going on here, and I'm not a government advisor. So I am not seeing as much as I am able to. And I know it's not the full picture. But I think anyone looking at this situation should be able to honestly say, as the moment you think you see the full picture, you are now unable to see anything outside of your proclaimed full picture awareness. And that's where we're at. And I wrote this all up on my Facebook. But, anyways, if we practice mindfulness, we know how to look deeply into the nature of war, and with our insight, wake people up so that together we can avoid repeating the same horrors again and again. They're already out there calling this the start of World War III. Putting that energy out there is an activation. It's like putting the spark out. We are in fire energy. We are in Aries. Aries is the spark. This war is in us, but is also in everyone. Everything is ready to explode, and we are all co-responsible. And this is practicing the art of mindfulness by Thich Nhat Hanh, Touching Peace. It is in all of us. Whatever is happening in the collective, there is something within us that has helped to activate it. So we're all 100% responsible for this in some way. And I feel that we have to start looking at it and taking an understanding on other people's values and points of view. It's like if you go to the Middle East, we may not value the way that they dress or how the women dress, but we need to have an understanding of that. The change has to happen, and it has to happen not only within us, but within our younger people. And we have to come out as the example of this. I really truly believe with all my heart and soul that this place of both and must be straddled and worked with in order for healing to happen and for humans to not destroy each other and our entire planet. We must become the bridge. And this is why I'm so passionate about shadow work, about understanding of our shadow, understanding all of those layers of ourselves, of why we do what we do and keep going on the crazy paths that we do. Because the more of us doing this individually, the less projection of inner shadow without happens. We start taking back projections, doing our own inner work, and we actually start changing the collective energy. It starts with each individual person. That's the journey. That's part of our journey of our earth walk. There is no heavenly angels coming down to save us from on high. God, Jesus, is not returning to the earth. He's already done that once. He doesn't need to come back again. We are now entering into the age of Aquarius. This is the age of collectiveness. This is the age of gathering together as one and allowing ourselves to be continually to be our own unique individual. We're moving out of that age of Pisces, which is the age of Jesus, the age of that Messiah, the one that we seek, that we go forth. Now, that Messiah, that seeking is within us, and into activating that Messiah within us, this is about us honoring who we are, taking a look at that which is deep inside of us in that shadow work. Am I perfect in all of this? Oh, hell no. I'm far from it. Am I learning? Definitely. I'm trying to. Jung talked about a paradox and being able to hold both sides of the tension of the oppositions. Aristotle said, "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." This is a place of being able to see both sides and not being so attached to our own viewpoint that we cannot look beyond our own beliefs. Can we see both? And can we see our own light, also our own shadow? This conflict that's happening right now in the Ukraine has been happening for a very long time. And this is where we have to take a look at all the sides that are going on and have an understanding. Have an understanding that there was a prime minister or president that they did have there, and NATO ousted him. They got rid of him. And within 24 hours, they had somebody in there that they wanted. I mean, this is nothing new in the world. This is nothing new at all. They've done it over and over again in many different places, as long as that puppet is being the way that we want him to be. There is so much there culturally that we may not even understand on both sides. We're also dealing with somebody who's never lived in the Western hemisphere, in the Western world. He's not lived in Germany or England. This is a man who rules Russia who's only lived in Russia. He lived in Eastern Germany before the wall and the KGB for like 15 plus years. So his mentality and the way of looking at the West is not the way that we look at it. Having that understanding is important because then we can take a better look at what's going on with the whole picture. And this is where we come together, and we come together with prayer. We come together in looking within our own selves. And as Aristotle, holding a thought without coming to, accepting it. And can we move beyond polarities, which is an inner split that gets projected without and is what drives us and which drives war. And some food for thought for those times we are in doubt. I do not see the whole picture, and I am doing the research to educate myself to understand this a lot more. I've seen the war within my own visions that I've had and downloads that I've had. And unfortunately, the way man is, it feels inevitable. And when we look back into history, and it's very important for you to understand the history. Understand, go back and even start looking into the history of the depression. Understand what the depression how the depression started. And that's where we're at. We're at this place. During the depression, there was great drought, and the people could not, the farmers were unable to plant crops. Now we have farmers that aren't going to be sowing their whole land because they can't afford seed, nor can they afford fertilizer. There's a shortage in phosphorus, there's a shortage in CO2, believe it or not. There's pneumonia, there's a shortage of pneumonia as well, which, when we look at all these factors and we look at what's been happening, and seed has gone up over 40%, and we got, the same for, looking at pesticides and stuff that they use has gone up. Fertilizer has gone up. So here we are at a turning point within our own lives on how we can make a difference within ourselves. And that is going and working within the shadow and accepting that shadow parts of our own selves and working with the light. As I said, to make an enlightened society, we have to have enlightened people. And some of us are going to become more enlightened faster than others. And they are, if you are one of those beautiful people, then you're here to lead us. You're here to help us and educate us. But sometimes when you are an enlightened person, or you're coming to deliver a message, not everybody wants to hear the message, and they're going to be angry and mad and upset with you. When you have had propaganda being forced upon you for over the last 3+ years, when the truth comes out, it's hard to see. It's like the truth coming out about the vaccine, the truth coming out more about COVID. It's hard for us to believe because we trust it. We trust it in our government. We trust it, and we were taught to believe. And I know many of you out there are saying, "Well, I never believed in them. I never, that's wonderful for you. And that's great. I mean, I never trusted them either, but you know what? When it all started, there wasn't all the information. Yeah, I stayed home with my family. I locked down. I was like wondering what the 2 meters was and wearing a fast face mask and started to question. And I know many of you did as well. And when I knew, I also knew about the shot, and I was like, no, that didn't feel right to me. Now this is coming out. And with this war that is coming, it is something that we have to stand in our light. It's so very important in doing so. And not to get blinded, not to be blinded by our light, but find the union within and bring heaven down to earth. That is what we need to do. And it is collectively facing our shadow. We are collectively facing our shadow at this time. And in facing the shadow, it's scary, and it's big, and it's ugly. But this is the shadow of the world that we are facing. And we are on a break of something, a break of something that is happening. And I know a lot of people, I know it's like, you talk about so much shit, Mary. You never have anything nice to say, and you're all doom and gloom. And I'm trying not to be doom and gloom. I really want people to see both sides. And when we see those both sides, we can send love to both Ukraine and to Russia. Do I trust either of those leaders? No, no. They both have darkness around them. They both do. And they both feel they're coming from their rightful place and doing that. And that's the other thing, is that they both feel like they're totally right in what they're doing, and justified in what they're doing. But I do understand the fact that I would not want somebody putting their arms up against my border. And that's what's been happening for the past 10 plus years in and around Russia. So, yes, you'd feel very threatened as a country, even though you've asked over and over for things to subside, and they haven't. So, this is where we're at. And this is where we have to send our love, send our Reiki, send, powers of, a positivity, but also send that power of love and Reiki to our own selves so that we can overcome our own, blindness in this all, so that we can make a collective difference in the world around us. And that's going to be important with this all. Big work to do, lots of work to do. I mean, it doesn't help that we have a Mars squaring Uranus today, and a Uranus with a semi-square to Black Moon Lilith, and Saturn and Uranus square with a Mars conjunction coming up. So we have a lot of crazy, intense energies that are coming in. We need to be kind to ourselves and really be careful. Be careful because you can get blindsided with a lot of this energy, meaning you can have accidents and things like that. So really be cautious in how you're doing things. If you're feeling things coming up to the surface that need to be released, release them in the best way you can. And maybe you're going to find that there's some things that are going to be released that you didn't want to be released, or you felt like you had to hang on to it, but you'll find out in the end it had to go. It's going to be for the best all around. So I'm going to send you guys out so much love. There's so much going on right now in the world, and we really have to keep ourselves grounded. We have to really keep ourselves in a mind frame of understanding and awareness within it all. So this year we are in a lot of change is coming forward. So a lot of change is coming forward for us all. And in that change and in that energy, we have to stay strong. So my message goes out to you guys again. Make sure your gas tank is full. Don't let it go past half if you can. Keep it full at all times. Make sure you got food on hand. Make sure that if you are unable to get food, maybe reach out. Maybe you have to reach out to a food bank. Do so. Trust me, the food bank has more food. They throw away food. That's how horrible it is. It sickens me to find out how much food that the food bank throws out. It really sickens me. So there's plenty of food. So for us to stock up on your basics, canned goods and everything else. There is different websites and stuff. You can go to the Canadian Prepper, and he does have survival, for 4 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. And this is like stuff that will last forever. Because even though you just don't know the inevitable of the energies that'll come forward for us. And yeah, and a first aid kit. So again, I really want people to be aware, stock up as best as they can. I know many people are going to start going through some financial issues. And I totally understand, um understand that. And thank you for all the prayers and well wishes for my husband. This week I can tell it's going to be a very tough week for him. We have 3 people. I got another person coming in today. Then he has somebody tomorrow. And just 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. So sorry, that was my husband's phone. So thank you all for the well wishes for Steve. It is amazing, because of his brain is rewiring to work, and where he wants to be and where he is can be very fatiguing. There are signs of depression right now, so he is, which is really hard for him because he's not really a depressed kind of guy. Anybody who knows him can testify to that. He's a very boisterous and loud person, but and he really, but when it comes to this over fatigueness and tiredness, it is taxing. It is taxing on you, and plus he's also worried about everything else in the house, with that, and so it's just one of those things, and this is our battle that we are fighting right now. And I think many of you have your own battles that you are fighting right now or having to go through. And it's just, you just want to say, fuck off, guys. I just don't want to do this anymore. I want to go into a different direction. I want to go to somewhere. I want calm. I want peace. But a little bit there is turbulence in the air. So thank you for all the well wishes and blessings and prayers sending out. We are openly, and it is a battle. I think this is, what we are having to face at this time. So on that note, um sending you guys out so much love. Thank you so much for all that you do, and may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all that you say and all that you be, for you all. Onward and upward, all of you. Stay safe. And I do have my mentorship program set up, and I'm taking a limited number of people. Um, this is God, this is a harsh one. I'm going to have to limit a lot more of things within my business at this time until Steve gets better. So I want to do packaged group packages with working with individual people. And I have a limited number of spaces that I can fill with that, and it's not a lot of spaces. Just an FYI. So more of my stuff, where I thought we would be starting some of the workshops in April, that's going to be a play by. It's like I want to do these things. It's really hard. I mean, it's like last night I had to, because he was having a hard time, um, when it comes to classes and stuff like that. So, anyways, that's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with it. We're gonna put in some positive vibrations out there into the world, so that we can bring in heaven down to earth. So, blessings, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.